Metaverse. I'm Thor with the Red Hand, and today I want to talk about some of the news that has been coming through with Star Atlas in regards to Automata restructuring and letting go 70 to 75% of their employees, and the team update meeting that they held on Wednesday, and actually answered a lot of community questions. And I thought they did a really good job as far as being thorough and answering those questions as best as they could. I know there are tons more questions that pop up as a result of just having that meeting and answering some of the most pertinent questions, but giving a good idea of what the roadmap is going forward. Still stating that the reason that they did the restructuring is to extend the runway to over a year, which over a year worth of time of runway is a good amount of time to be able to continue to develop and make meaningful things happen. So that was a good meeting, and I'm going to recommend that everybody watch that. I'm not going to go through every single point. It's much better to watch it and get that straight from the team members themselves. But I do want to cover one specific point and then talk about my thoughts on Star Atlas as a whole going forward after all this new information coming to light. During the meeting, Michael Wagner posed a question to the community, and they put a poll out, and I wanted to address that or give my 2 cents on it. And the question was, essentially, would you as the community like to see this smaller team focus their efforts and either develop out the user interface for the Sage Rec game to get that fully finished and looking really clean with the user interface, or should they focus their time developing out the mobile app, which is an athletic trainer style app that is a companion app to the UE5 and racing? In regards to the purpose of the mobile app is to level up your crew members, which then would be able to improve the stats and give you boosts in the racing aspect of the UE5 game, and progress, and there's going to be more to that, but that is initially what it would be. And so either work on UI or on the mobile app. And so immediately a lot of people in the chat started firing UI, finish the UI. That's what you want to see, and that's fine. I was actually thinking the other way, and I've had a bunch of different conversations in Discord, and I just think more and more I lean further to the mobile app development side. So I wanted to address a couple reasons why, and to have any more conversation with that, leave your comments in the comment section below. I will be happy to respond to you and talk about it more. And I don't think it's going to be a make or break, regardless of which way that you go with this. I think it's going to be fine either way. I just think we are in a time that we're at least very aware of the need to make each of the movements effective, and progressing towards the ultimate goal in a way that is going to improve the sustainability of the development of Star Atlas. In thinking like that, let's look at the user interface. What would development of the UI do, bring, or accomplish for the project? So you finish the nicer graphics around the Sage Rec game. The benefit of that is, I don't know. Do more people, more new users come in, see the rec version of Sage and want to play that where they didn't want to play it before, or didn't really care about it before? I'm doubtful that is going to have a massive change to the user base. It is definitely an improvement in quality of life for the people that have been playing and that are already part of this community. And I absolutely want to see the user interface fully fleshed out and looking clean and nice. I think they do a really good job with the final product, with most things or everything that we've seen so far when it finally gets through that final products phase. But I am more interested, and I think the more important part of Rec is activating the economy aspect of the game and getting those economic loops going. Whether it is just a step above spreadsheets, really wouldn't bother me, and that's anecdotal. That's my opinion. But I think there's actually quite a few people in the community that are more the spreadsheet warriors than needing the clean, cool-looking graphics on everything. And so that benefit that UE5 brings, the benefit of developing the UI, I don't see there being a whole lot. I think the benefit is really in the economics of Rec and activating those economics and bolstering the stability of Star Atlas's economy. That's very important. That part of the game and development is huge. But UI development, it doesn't really do much for me. I do understand it because my knee-jerk reaction was, well, obviously finish one thing first, right? Get it all the way done. But I see it more as, well, you get to the threshold of having the economy. That threshold's the important part. The finish edges are less important. They're aesthetic. Okay. Now let's take a look at the mobile app. What benefits would we get there versus anywhere else? And that's where I start leaning more and more towards mobile app being what we focus development on. One, it brings utility in several different ways. It creates access to an asset that we've had in the form of ships, but we've never had access to the crew members in the ship. So it takes our asset and actually splits it up into a few more assets that we can play with and we can manipulate and have fun with, right? That's part of the game, and it's a part of the game that we hadn't had access to before. Once the mobile app gives us the character progression, that is a whole new way to experience the thing that we, the community, already have. And whether that's going to draw a whole lot of new people into this metaverse, I don't know, but it is an added use case and something for us to do as the community members and gamers. And it's something I've been interested in for a while. The fun that adds for me is pretty big. I feel a lot more like it's a personalized experience when I'm starting to develop out my crew members. And as the sports trainer, the more I walk, the farther I progress with that crew member. I mean, I'm the prime candidate as far as the audience to go for a walking app. I walk around all day. I'll probably upgrade all of my crew members within the first week or two. But the point that Michael made is connecting different people within the same community. Some people that are going to focus and actually crush the walking aspect of the app. And then there's going to be people that don't want anything to do with it and really don't want to spend time on that. But they can work together, and that creates a piece of economy that ties different parts of the community together. So that's also a benefit to the mobile app. Then really the most important thing that I see is the mobile app developing those characters and giving bonuses that you can then use in Unreal Engine 5, specifically when we get the racing going, which focus on mobile app or UI is not going to change the development of Showroom 2.2. They're still trying to get that out by the end of the year, hopefully, and if not, the Q1 of 2024. That's not going to change regardless of this decision. So let's develop the app that's going to pour into the UE5, because that is the capstone of Star Atlas. That is the whole purpose of everything that we're doing, is to get to the place where we can do all this cool stuff in UE5, in the really cool graphics, full immersion experience. And so the mobile app is one more road towards UE5 to direct more people and more value to UE5. So in regards to apples, I see that as a definite positive for the mobile app. The main negative that I read when in these discussions in Discord was, well, why would bringing people into a game that isn't finished, what's the point of that? And I think that's kind of a weak argument, especially with someone like myself, where I've been a part of Star Atlas from the very beginning, from the poster sale, when we literally had no gameplay, nothing, for a long time. Even Score was really not considered a game. It was just clicking and waiting for a timer to be up and doing it again. I enjoyed my experience in Star Atlas the entire time. And I immersed myself and have thoroughly enjoyed that. So to say that nobody can find any enjoyment, well, with what we have now, I mean, Showroom 2.1, there is a lot to be done there and a lot of fun gameplay to experience. You have the Sage Rec, which if you're given the economics, you've just created a real economy. You're participating in a real economy. That is what really got me excited about Star Atlas above and beyond just a game. It's not just a game anymore. Now you're part of a real player-driven economy, and there are going to be people that find that as interesting. So that's sort of a counterpoint to one negative. But the last thing about mobile is that it gets you into the mobile market, which is massive. There's tons of people that don't either have a PC to play the game on, or they don't have the time to sit down and play on the PC. I've been falling into that category more and more. But if I have a phone app that I can engage with Star Atlas quickly and conveniently, I'm going to be involved with that a whole lot more. And very excited about that. I used to play several Web3 games on Gala Games. I really don't anymore. I'm down to playing Spider Tanks, and I do that rarely because I spend most of my time with Star Atlas. And then there is Dragon Strike, which is basically like a Candy Crush type game. And the only reason I play it is because it's an NFT game, it's mildly fun, and it's convenient. Mainly it's convenient. If Star Atlas had an app of any quality, I would pick that over it. So that's anecdotal, but you can see how having the mobile app and having access to the mobile phone market, the millions of people that you have access to, where you didn't have that before, can only be beneficial to the health of our ecosystem. So those are the different points. I really kind of went longer on that than I was planning, but I think it's a better decision to develop out the mobile app. And please leave comments in the comment section below, because I'd love to talk to more people about that. Either way, I think it will be fine. Let's talk about this one a little bit more. I think it's a better choice. So let's talk then about Star Atlas as a whole. After all this happened, there's plenty of people trolling and fudding, oh, this project is dead, blah, blah, blah. I don't even understand why people jump in to talk doom and gloom the way that they do. Critical thinking is one thing, but just being toxic and ridiculous is just stupid. But let's take a real look at what's going on. They've restructured. Okay, so they had to let people go. Letting people go is never a great sign. It means that you aren't able to sustain yourself with the plan as set prior. You're going to have to readjust. Now, running small companies, starting up companies, and definitely in emerging markets, it is very difficult to pick a trajectory that you never have to deviate from. And even in business plans, you plan to do a restructure once you get to a certain level, right? Once you meet a certain threshold. Now, I don't think they chose to do the restructure because that was part of the plan. No, they had several curveballs. The financial books got totally messed up by the FTX debacle. That was out of left field, and that's going to shake any company and have them reassess how they're going to go about their development of their product. And the bear market as a whole is not helping anybody out, and it's very much different than the environment that the project had started in. Now, seeing several projects that have tanked and really did die, that usually comes with a lack of response. If they didn't do anything and they just stayed the course because they're afraid to make any changes or show weakness, like that, you're just going to ride yourself into the ground. What they are doing now is a thoughtful move, and it's what I would do if I wanted to maintain the project and to find the way to sustain it, find new sustainability. What is that scale that you're able to operate at and progress through and continue on? Because self-sustaining is what Star Atlas has to be if it's going to get all the way to the finish line. And some people were saying, oh, this is exactly what a company does when they're planning on selling. They're just going to do a rug pull and get out. And like, okay, yeah, that's a company restructures and becomes more efficient when they want to sell because they want to sell it for more money. Those are also the same moves that you do if you want the company and the project to survive. So that's kind of a misleading argument that I saw several times by people that wanted to just yell fire and blow it with a fan. I think as a community member, I am going to be very vigilant and watch what they do and what the results are, how the progression of the project continues, and what quality product they actually are putting out. If it's still meeting that high standard, and I'm seeing that progress growing, I have no problem supporting them in whatever capacity I can. And I think that's be a very sober way going forward. Don't be starry-eyed. Nobody should be starry-eyed at this point. We know this is going to be a tough road, and this is one of the tough parts. This is in a bear market. This is where we have to, actually do work. And I think it's phenomenal that they opened up IP and are making the toolkits for development available for community members to do some of that work if we so choose. I wish I knew more programming than I do, because I would definitely pour my hobby time into it to do stuff. And so I'll continue to think of ways to help out in my own capacities. And I encourage other people to as well. I definitely don't see Star Atlas as a dying project. The community itself is worth spending my time on and sticking around and being a part of what Star Atlas is becoming. So I would love to have more conversations about this, and let's think intelligently about each of the moves that are going forward. And I think we're going to see ourselves through this and hit the next bull market. And a company or a project, I should say, that makes its way through a bear market like this and comes out still developing and staying strong, that is great proof that it is a front-running project in the entire Web3 gaming sector. I hope that was helpful. Don't worry about liking or subscribing, but share it with somebody who you think would find it useful. So if you can do that, then today was a good day. Good morning, Metaverse.